Hey everyone, what up? Matt Kaiser here, and welcome to another demo first impressions video. And the topic is another upcoming Square Enix action RPG. Another one. And that happens to be the game I'm covering the most on this channel recently. And that is, well, Star Ocean 6 Divine Force. Now this demo dropped out today for the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series, though sadly no PC. And this demo does contain about 2 hours of the opening for Rayman's story. As such, unfortunately you cannot, transfer your save file to the main game, like to the full game, which a lot of other Square Enix RPG demos have done. Actually, which kind of sucks, but whatever. This demo came out about a month before the full game's release. Anyway, on to the actual thing. Now I won't go too much on the story since I did cover a little bit on that, but it boils down to Rayman and his crew, the Edis, being attacked by the Pan-Galactic Federation, which causes them to have no choice but to evacuate the ship, with Rayman and Chloe, for example, leaving via escape pods and crash landing to an undeveloped planet known as Astor 4. And they get separated, of course, and then Rayman meets up with 2 locals from there, the Princess of Osirius, being Leticia, and her Kingsguard, Albert. And they help him against the ambush of some dangerous monsters, and they form an alliance of some sort. Now of course I wouldn't say, I can't say too much on the story, but I would say it's off to an interesting start, even if most Star Ocean games only have boiled down to stuff like being crash landed to another world and being stuck there. But yeah, hopefully the story is good at the long run, but overall promising start, I would say. Anyway, on to the visuals, and I have to say, in terms of visuals, this is by far the best looking Star Ocean game, as the environments of it just look pretty, as well as even towns, forests, all that stuff. It just looks so gorgeous, and also has a day and night cycle, which is just beautiful. From what I can tell, it is a day and night cycle. I don't know too much. But however, when it comes to character models, I'm still a little bit iffy, though I have, sort of grown accustomed to them, like I did with Star Ocean 4. It's just the only disappointing thing is, doing interactions, characters will talk and it looks a little bit stilted with their lip flaps, and from what I can tell, the lip syncing is a bit off. But other than that, I think the game just looks pretty solid for the most part. Of course, this is Tri-Ace and they're not the biggest studio for Square Enix, they don't have the biggest budget, so I could only give them some form of respect and not go harsh on them. As for performance, I put this of course in performance mode for PlayStation 5, and it ran pretty smoothly for the most part. There were some instances where the game would sort of dip in intense places that look like they're just, where frames were dropping left and right, like it was becoming a bit too intense. This demo is, again, a month before the full game's release, so I assume that it's sort of like an earlier build of some kind, or like a near complete build, and that they'll still take time to, polish things and get the game run smoothly. Hopefully, I hope that is the case. But other than that, the presentation looks nice. I like the menus even, and love the classic Star Ocean sound effects. Now of course this game is being an open world, so how does it go? From what I've seen, I think this open world is pretty nice. It's fun to traverse through, the design's very good, from what I can tell, and there's some interesting things to find, especially when the mechanic is introduced later on, which I will talk about next. But first, the gameplay, the actual combat. Now, Star Ocean Divine Force plays similar. It is an action RPG like the other games in the series, and as such, the thing it has is, well, seamless transition into battles. By the time you enter a fight, you will immediately go into a battle, similar to, say, Xenoblade Chronicles in a sense. Like, there's no loading transition to a new battle arena for that fight. It's just you go, you find an enemy, go there, you fight the enemy in the same area you were exploring. That's all nice, very seamless and very smooth. Now the combat is pretty much interesting. In this you have a thing called AP, your action points, and they are your means of attacking, and they are contributed to 3 different buttons, and you can use one or the other to do some devastating combos. Though however, this AP gauge is limited, and every archer you use to spend it, it'll decrease and go all the way to the very bottom. And if you have no AP to use, no APs are lit green, you can't attack, so you have to wait a while to recharge. Or if you want to keep the flow going a bit, you can switch the other Pi members that have AP available to use. So anyway, it doesn't and since switching characters on the fly is a bit more seamless and more smooth, it does kind of encourage in a way, which is nice. And it kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VII Remake in that regard. Now of course, AP can be dependent whether on how much you have, whether it's small AP like say 5 bars, or even double that, depending on battles. Though if you have say small AP, there are ways to increase it, which we'll definitely get on later. There's also things like, say, this game having a stop mode, which pauses the action and allows you to, change strategy with your Pi members, switch different targets, and you also use items, all that stuff. It keeps the thing in a sense still, so it gives you time to think and strategize. And obviously there's also another thing that this mechanic has, and that's also dodge, which I do like, and dodges are also applied well, and if you have a well-timed dodge, time will slow down a little bit, so I'm giving you a well-timed dodge. And also we get into the other mechanic, and that's Duma, the sentient flying robot jetpack AI thing. And what it does is attaches to you and introduces you to the Vanguard Assault ability, which allows you to hover, and then by letting go of the R1 button, will create one big massive lunge and charge dive to the enemies, giving one big attack, or even leading them to a combo. It's similar to the other things I mentioned that most Square Enix games have to keep the flow of combat going in a sense. And of course, this game has Duma also introduces things like the aggression radar, which are these yellow spots which will pinpoint on the enemies that are currently coming to attack you, and this will also help you to execute blindsides. And speaking of which, blindsides from Star Ocean Forwardton, but they work a bit differently. In that game, you had to stand still, charge with your rush meter, and wait for the enemy to come to attack you, and just dodge at the right time to completely blindside them. Though in this case, with this, you use the Vanguard Assault. When you come in charge for the enemy, you can move to a different direction where the enemy is paying attention to you and completely catch them off guard. And if you do it well, you could even put enemies in a stun lock and just combo them when they're down, which is all very nice. And Stuff like that, and well-timed dodges and even surprise attacks, for example, can truly increase your AP for a limited time. And yeah, this just feels very encouraging. Now, controlling Duma is not only just through combat, but using it also for exploration. And it can help you fly and glide through places far enough high for a limited time. And just flying through it, just to go through big gaps to collect items like chests or consumables, or even those purple gems which are useful to boost your skills, is all very rewarding. And they can also be used to launch a surprise attack on enemies if you get the upper hand. And this VA gauge is very precious, as it does drain on how long you use it, so you have to think carefully. Now, of course, there's also things this game has, like with the chain combos it has, and how every time you level up you get SP, skill points, and you can use it on two things. One is to boost the current skills you have, making them more stronger than ever, or go to the skill tree to add new skills, whether it's new arts or even new passive or active skills, as well as things like increasing attack or defense or health, all that kind of stuff. And that is all pretty nice. As well as, this game also has just things like traversing is very good, and things like saving automatically, manually, without no save things or whatever. Now, of course, there's also things like, having private actions where they will just have these conversations, which is a staple of the series, which is similar to say the skits and Tales of, and for what I've gained from two of them, they seem pretty nice. The voice acting is very solid, I would say. Even again, the lip syncing and some of the lip flaps do kind of ruin it a bit. But overall, I'd say it's pretty nice and I had a good time with it. There was also even a side quest where I had to save someone's cat, and using the Duma to fly and scan for it, it was actually pretty cool. Overall, I don't have too much to complain other than the fact that it does take a bit used to using Duma, and you have to really be on top of your game to manage your AP, as well as watch out for enemy attacks. And my AI, from what I can tell, even when I do change their strategy settings, is not the smartest, I would say, but that's a thing that most action RPGs suffer. Overall, I have to say this demo from what I played was pretty damn good, I have to say. I even loved the music from by Motoi Sakuraba so far. So overall, I was actually really impressed with this demo. I'm definitely looking forward to the full game. But anyway guys, that's it for me. So tell me guys, have you guys played the demo of Star Ocean 6 yet? And are you gonna get the full game? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyway guys, so thank you guys so much for watching. So punch the like button, drop down a comment, and hit the subscribe button if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Man Kaiser, out.